Likewise, the millions of kids who devoured A Series of Unfortunate Events, the young adult mystery novels by Lemony Snicket, were seduced by a narrator whose arch persona was consciously modeled on Gorey's. Daniel Handler, the man behind the nom de plume, calls it the flaneur. When I was first writing A Series of Unfortunate Events, he says, I was wandering around everywhere saying I am a complete rip-off of Edward Gorey, and everyone said, who's that? That was in 1999. Now everyone says, that's right, you are a complete rip-off of Edward Gorey. Neil Gaiman's dark fantasy novella Coraline bears Gorey's stamp too. A devout fan since childhood, when he fell for Gorey's illustrations in The Shrinking of Treehorn by Florence Perry Hyde, Gaiman has an original Gorey hanging on his bedroom wall, a drawing of children gathered around a sickbed. Gaiman's wife, the dark cabaret singer Amanda Palmer, references Gorey's book The Doubtful Guest in her song Girl Anachronism. I don't necessarily believe there is a cure for this, so I might join your century, but only as a doubtful guest. His influence is percolating out of the goth, neo-Victorian, and dark fantasy subcultures into pop culture at large. The market for Gorey books, calendars, and gift cards is insatiable, buoying indie publishers like Pomegranate, which is resurrecting his out-of-print titles. Since his death, his work has inspired a half-dozen ballets, an avant-garde jazz album, and a loosely biographical play, Gorey, The Secret Lives of Edward Gorey, 2016. Of course, there's no surer sign that you've arrived than a Simpsons homage. Narrated in verse, in a toffee-nosed English accent, and rendered in Gorey's gloomy palette and spidery line, the goofy, creepy playlet, A Simpsons Shows Too Short story, 2012, indicates just how deeply his work has seeped into the pop unconscious. But the leading indicator of Gorey's influence is his transformation into an adjective. Among critics and trend story reporters, Gorey-esque has become shorthand for a postmodern twist on the Gothic. Anything that shakes it up with a shot of black comedy, a jigger of irony, and a dash of high camp to produce something droll, disquieting, and morbidly funny. But is that all we're talking about when we talk about Gorey? An aesthetic? A style? The way we wear our bowler hats? Truth to tell, we hardly know him. Gorey's work offers an amusingly ironic, fatalistic way of viewing a human comedy, as well as a code for signaling a conscientious objection to the present. Handler attributes Gorey's enduring appeal to the sophisticated understatement and wit of his hand-cranked world, dark though it may be, a sensibility that stands in sharp contrast to the Trumpian vulgarity of our times. The Gorey worldview that a well-timed scathing remark might shame an uncouth person into acting better seems worthy to me, says Handler. Like Handler, the steampunks and goths with Gorey tattoos who flock to the annual Edwardian ball, an elegant and whimsical celebration inspired by Gorey's work, dream of stepping into the gaslit, sepia-toned world of his stories. Justin Katz, who co-founded the ball, believes revelers, many of whom come dressed in Victorian or Edwardian attire, are drawn by the promise of escape from our age of anxiety, a chaotic time of accelerated media that is stressful and rootless for many. Gorey, it should be noted, groaned at being typecast as the granddaddy of the Goths and would have shrunk from the embrace of neo-Victorians. I hate being characterized, he said. I don't like to read about the gory details and that kind of thing. There was more, much more to the man than charming anachronisms and morbid obsessions. Only now are art critics, scholars of children's literature, historians of book cover design and commercial illustration, and chroniclers of the gay experience in post-war America waking up to the fact that Gorey is a critically neglected genius. His consummately original vision, expressed in virtuosic illustrations and poetic texts, but articulated with equal verve in book jacket design, verse plays, puppet shows, and costumes and sets for ballets and Broadway productions, has earned him a place in the history of American art and letters. Gorey was a seminal figure in the post-war revolution in children's literature that reshaped American ideas about children and childhood.